ball. Then it states this. It's different now. You see it because the team doesn't break. This team doesn't quit. And our people don't wait for permission to show up. Resilience isn't a buzzword here. It's a reflex. It's a reflex, the refusal to fold. And our fans, they're not a backdrop, they're a force. They show up early, they show up loud, they show up everywhere. This isn't a moment, it's a pattern, a team that refused to be ordinary.
The Indiana Fever have found themselves at the center of yet another unusual controversy. This time involving accusations from rival fans claiming the organization is using artificial intelligence to generate content for their social media accounts, specifically their posts on X, and even to artificially inflate engagement numbers like likes and views. The post that set everything off reads as follows. The first version states, "It's different now. You see it the way we play. You feel it how we rise."
To be ordinary, a fan base that refused to shrink, a state that does things its own way. So if you just noticing us, here's the truth. What you're seeing isn't a phrase. We're not going anywhere. This is Fever Basketball. Now you know. Now, with that being said, that is the post that sparked major debate, so major that Front Office Sports dropped this article about this post.
And our fans, they're not a backdrop, they're a force. This is Fever Basketball. A second version of the post elaborates further. It's different now. You see it because this team doesn't break. This team doesn't quit.
Sports dropped this article about this post like 30 minutes ago. Indiana Fever accused of using AI again. So they're not accusing them one time, they're using them two times. After Caitlin Clark remarked, fans are accusing the Indiana Fever using AI to generate text for a post. Days after Caitlin Clark called out Indiana Fever for using AI on social media, the team appears to have done it again on Saturday. The Fever post, which that is the post that we read.
And our people don't wait for permission to show up. Resilience isn't a buzzword here. It's a reflex, the refusal to fold. And our fans, they're not a backdrop.
Post, which that is the post that we read, this one right here. Now, I want to read some of the comments up under here. It stated, "You pay for this? I hope not. I can give you a freebie. Fever represents the spirit of the Midwest. Strong work ethic, community, family, and sports. You should try to emulate that in your marketing instead of vague passages. This is too general." Now, this is a fan calling out Front Office Sports for pretty much making this article, man, because I'm from the Midwest.
They're a force. They show up early. They show up loud. They show up everywhere. This isn't a moment.
Because I'm from the Midwest. I'm from St. Louis. I live in St. Louis, and we just different type of people around here, bro. You could go anywhere else. You will never find somebody more genuine than somebody from the Midwest. We work for everything we got. We strive for everything, and shit just hit a little different when you come to the Midwest. Now, I'm from the gateway of the Midwest, so we get all of the different systems. Somebody said this is rage baiting. Sorry, but fans are ticked off with your apprehensive front office who lecture on.
It's a pattern. A team that refused to be ordinary. A fan base that refused to shrink. A state that does things its own way. So if you're just noticing us, here's the truth. What you're seeing isn't a phase.
Apprehensive front office who lecture on fans. Hire better manager and coaching staff to build a championship team that lasts not one every year. Somebody else said, Jesus Christ, this was the tackiest-ish in all of professional sports. Fans hate it, and you double down on the following season. What happened to the money Caitlin Clark generated you? You got to rely on AI all the time. Stop with the AI writing a Twitter caption. Isn't that hard?
We're not going anywhere. This is Fever Basketball. Now you know. That post triggered enough backlash that Front Office Sports ran a piece on it shortly after it went up. The article noted that this is not the first time such accusations have surfaced. In fact, Caitlin Clark herself previously called out the Fever for using AI on social media, and now fans are pointing to this post as evidence it happened again. The comment section under the Front Office Sports article reflected the frustration.
Hard. So people is definitely making it their business to make this a damn thing that the Indiana Fever is using AI to generate posts, basically calling the front office and the admins lazy, which is beyond me because I just cannot believe that this is even a freaking thing, bro. Like, I don't know. But these rival fans is getting way out of hand, man. Way out of hand. They questioning the credibility.
One commenter wrote that the post was too vague and generic, suggesting the team should lean into authentic Midwest values, work ethic, community, family rather than producing copy that reads like it came from a content generator. Another commenter framed it as rage baiting, adding that fans are already frustrated with what they see as a passive front office that lectures rather than builds, and that the money Clark has brought in should be more than enough to hire people capable of writing a basic social media caption without relying on AI tools. The broader sentiment in the replies amounted to calling the front office and their admins lazy, a charge that has picked up enough momentum to become a genuine story in its own right. Separately, another story has emerged involving Clark and the WNBA's handling of her 2024 Rookie of the Year recognition. A social media post from commentator Allison noted that the league had reportedly offered Clark multiple opportunities to receive her award in a more formal, public setting, including a segment on Good Morning America, and that those offers were turned down by Clark's team.
They questioning the credibility of the admin now. First, they had a racist fan base. Now y'all questioning the credibility of the admin. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, man. Moving on to another story. Allison stated, "This is so painful on Caitlin Clark brand. The W said they offered her multi-chances to represent Rookie of the Year in person and even do it on Good Morning America segment. And her team declined every single one. My humble goat." Now, this is
according to a text message cited in an upcoming book by journalist Christine Brennan. A league representative reached out on September 16, 2025, offering to travel to Indianapolis after the team's season had concluded to hold a press conference or arrange a sit-down with Clark through NBA Entertainment. Both the team and her agent declined. The league also reportedly tried to set up a Good Morning America appearance for the occasion, and that too was turned down. The contrast with how Paige Bueckers received her Rookie of the Year recognition has not gone unnoticed. Bueckers received a full rollout, an elaborate, well-produced presentation that generated significant attention.
We're going to see anything too crazy. We're going to see the Indiana Fever, for lack of a better word. I think we're going to see them out here bullshitting. I think they're going to try put on a show for their crowd, just like they did in Iowa when they faced the Brazilian national team. The Indiana Fever, they're not as bad as Brazil without Dantas and Cardoso. But, like, if the Fever wanted to win this game, they could win this game by 80 points. I don't think they will because the Nigerian national team have been...
Clark, by comparison, received her award in a much quieter fashion, and at the time many assumed the league had simply not made the effort. Brennan's book, releasing May 5th, presents a different account, that the league did make the effort and was turned away. Brennan's post previewing the book states that contrary to widespread belief, the WNBA did not ignore Clark's 2024 Rookie of the Year award, and that the league offered to celebrate her in several different ways, according to a league spokesperson quoted in the text. The book also touches on the long-running connection between Clark and Bueckers, two players who grew up less than 4 hours apart, with Bueckers from the Indianapolis suburbs and Clark from the suburbs of Des Moines, Iowa. They are just 3 months apart in age, with Bueckers born in 2001 and Clark in 2002.
Game by 80 points. I don't think they will because the Nigerian national team have been semi-competitive, as in losing by like 30. And there are a few players, like Kalu is probably WNBA-ish standard. I think there's a situation, like they're an Olympic team, I guess. There are situations where, and times in the game where Nigeria are probably going to be on top, but that'll be small periods of the game. My expectation is we're going to see very limited minutes from Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston.
Bueckers was the top-ranked recruit in the country coming out of high school, while Clark ranked 4th, a placement that has long been a point of discussion among fans who felt her ranking did not reflect her actual talent level. The Indiana Fever's final preseason game is against the Nigerian national team, and expectations for this matchup need to be set accordingly. Caitlin Clark is confirmed to be playing, which is somewhat surprising given the nature of the contest, but make no mistake, this is an exhibition. Not a competitive game, not a meaningful evaluation tool, not a situation where the Fever are trying to figure anything out. The most realistic outcome is Indiana playing loose, putting on a show for the crowd, much like the earlier event in Iowa against the Brazilian national team.
Boston, Ty Harris. I think we're going to see them probably playing in and around 15 minutes. I think we're going to see them playing like at most 16, 17 minutes each. I think we see Caitlin play sub 10. I think we see a lot of
Nigeria without their top players struggled to keep games within 30 points against other opposition. There are individual talents worth noting. Kalu is probably close to WNBA level, and there will likely be stretches of the game where Nigeria holds their own briefly. But the Fever, if they pushed, could realistically win this by 80. They almost certainly will not, because there is no reason to. In terms of rotation expectations, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Ty Harris should see limited time somewhere around 15 to 17 minutes each, with Clark potentially playing under 10.
I think we see a lot of... I think we're going to see a lot of minutes for between McConnell, Traylor, and Timmins, because I understand, like, obviously, if for McConnell and you have to cut them and then call them back for development. That being said, my expectation is that they're fighting it out for one spot. I still think Justine Bissott, I don't know what was up with Justine Bissott's tweet yesterday. Like, everyone is like reading into it as different things.
The bulk of the playing time is expected to go to players like McConnell, Traylor, and Timmins, all of whom appear to be fighting over a single remaining roster spot. Justa Mukamara is not in the playing roster for this game. Her knee was visibly taped up at a recent appointment, and the injury appears genuine. That said, the entire situation surrounding her has felt unusual. The timing, the cryptic social media activity, the absence since a certain point has raised questions. Random comments across Reddit threads and YouTube sections have been fueling speculation, which is a recurring problem in WNBA coverage generally.
Like, reading into it as different things. A random person who came into my comment section claimed to even know her. I'm not out here using a damn comment section as a source or comment as a source, but I'm like, that's the problem with WNBA, is that if you look, it's random comments in random places. Like the DeWanna Bonner quitting the Indiana Fever, she left for personal reasons. When she was missed a game for personal reasons, there was a comment on Reddit saying DeWanna Bonner.
Unverified claims spread quickly in smaller fan communities. A similar pattern played out with Damiris Dantas earlier, when a Reddit comment convinced a portion of the fanbase she had quit the team entirely before the reality of the situation became clear. Dantas herself is an interesting case heading into this game.
For personal reasons. When she was missed a game for personal reasons, there was a comment on Reddit saying DeWanna Bonner's gone. DeWanna Bonner's gone. She's never playing for the Fever again. And people were worried about her. It's like, she's quit. She wants to go. She's only playing for Phoenix. And it's like a fucking Reddit post, a Threads post, a comment in a YouTube section. Heck, like, when people were all the reason why I found out when people were that Dominique Malonga was coming over straight away to the WNBA and not staying in France for another year because people were questioning that, was because Dominique Malonga's dad commented on one of my YouTube videos to say that Dominique Malonga was coming over. It's the weirdest.
She is going to be in the rotation for at least the first 10 games of the regular season regardless. The decision to keep her over other options has always been about the potential version of Dantas rather than the consistent version. She is a hypothetical player, someone whose WNBA contributions rarely match what she produces on the international stage. 10 games into the season, if the results have not changed, a roster adjustment becomes more justifiable. Kika Timmins should also see extended minutes.
This thing ever. Nobody knows what's going on, and obviously you're seeing cryptic tweets. I would love to have seen Justine Bissott today. I would have loved to have seen Bissott. But unfortunately, Justine Bissott is not in the playing roster today. Like, I have no question that she is injured. By the looks of things, absolutely, she had her knee taped up. She was at the doctor's. Like, I don't think there's no way they're fabricating the injury. If they fabricate an injury,
Mo Billings needs to show something defensively. Maisha Hines-Allen will put up numbers but remains an unpredictable contributor. An evaluation of her game alongside Natasha Howard of the Lynx reveals striking similarities in movement and decision-making, with Hines-Allen holding a slight edge as a passer. The difference is that Howard is on a minimum contract while Hines-Allen commands significantly more. The output, in terms of impact on the game, is roughly equivalent. The bottom line is that the Fever will win this game.
That's something, but it does look fishy as well. Everything looks fishy with her, with that situation or going on around her, because just the timing of the fact she hasn't been seen since she said she wanted to make a roster. But yeah, it's an interesting one. For the rest of the players, I hope we see something positive out of Damaris Stantis. She is playing a national team, so if she does go and give you 20,
there is no realistic scenario where they lose, and even if they did, the result carries no weight. Beating a team that would likely struggle against a top college program and possibly lose to UConn does not teach the Fever anything about where they stand as a unit. This game is for the fans and for fringe roster players to get floor time, nothing more.